creators, enemies to everydayers and play it safers. We are the heirs to greatness on road and track, to podium toppers and motor show stoppers, winners of garlands and turners of heads. We never settle for less than extraordinary, pride-welling, pulse-quickening moments when time stops and the world stares. Every Jaguar is a work of technical artistry, agile and sculptural, inspired and theatrical. A true performer that makes the road its stage. Born of our flair, ingenuity, and instinct for seduction, our creations embody our passion for performance and express our reason for being. To excite in every sense. So let our drivers sit spellbound in their front row seats as our engines roar out their symphonic score. And let's show the world that true performance isn't just measured in figures, but in the way it makes you feel. These are the moments worth living for. Because it's not the number of breaths you take that matters. It's the moments that take your breath away. Jaguar, the art of performance.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining us for the launch of the all-new Jaguar E-Pace. Later this evening, we will launch the new Jaguar E-Pace. We have lots of guests coming this evening, but we're going to give you a preview early before anybody else. So we look forward to you joining us this evening, but before that, this morning we've got a really immersive, interactive about E-Pace. So lots of information for you this morning. So I just want to introduce our lineup of speakers. We'll be hearing from the very people that have been involved right from the beginning with the Jaguar E-Pace. So I'll introduce them. They are Finbar McFall, who's our Product Marketing Director, Ian Callum, our Design Director for Jaguar, Alan Volkart's our Vehicle Line Director, and Graham Wilkins, who's our Chief Product Engineer. So what the details that we share with you this morning, they are under embargo till this evening, 8 p.m. UK time. If you've got any details around, if you want to know any more details around that, please ask your PR manager. So with that, let's kick it off, let's start, and I'll hand over to Finbar.
Thank you, Fiona. And hello everyone, morning. Now, as any marketeer will tell you, there is no substitute for new products to promote and progress a brand. And Jaguar's brand progression continues at pace, with new products being added to the portfolio and new awards to the collection. Our most recent arrival, of course, has been the F-Pace, which has been crowned both the World Car Design of the Year and World Car of the Year. But it's not just new products we're adding, we're also adding new product variants. So, for example, the new XF Sport Brake, which made its debut at Wimbledon just last month, the XE V8 Protect 8, and then the arrival of the 4-cylinder 400 PS Ingenium petrol engine into the XE, XF, F-Type and F-Pace. Now, as a consequence, Jaguar sales are at record levels, at over 172,000 retail units over the last financial year. That's 83% up over the previous year. Now that increase is powered primarily with the arrival of the F-Pace. Now the idea of a Jaguar SUV was first suggested at the 2013 Frankfurt show with the CX-17 concept car. And since going on sale just over a year ago, we've sold over 80,000 F-Paces. That makes it not just the best-selling car in the current lineup, but also the fastest-selling Jaguar ever. Now we followed this up by showing you Jaguar's first all-electric vehicle, the I-Pace. A concept vehicle, yes, but definitely not a fantasy. The production reality of this car will be on the road in 2018. Now that puts Jaguar right at the forefront of the electric revolution and in the heartland of the SUV market. So, why SUVs? Well, increasingly customers want a vehicle that can support their whole lifestyle. The performance and design that they want with the practicality that they increasingly need. And of course, demand for SUVs and crossovers is a global phenomenon. In the US alone, sales reached 7.5 million last year of SUVs and crossovers. In the same period in China, sales increased by 37%. And globally, the compact SUV segment grew by 18% last year, and we're forecasting that it will grow by another 23% by 2020. So, in this growing market, we intend to have a growing SUV offer. So alongside the award-winning F-Pace and the all-electric I-Pace, the E-Pace will be the third member of Jaguar's Pace family. It's our compact SUV, so it sits below the F-Pace, both in terms of size and price. And just like the F-Pace and I-Pace, it's been designed and engineered to be attracted to incremental customers. These are customers who are typically young couples or maybe young families. And for them, the E-Pace may be, well, they really want to always be connected and using the latest technology to enable their busy lifestyle. Also, interestingly, the E-Pace may be the main or indeed the only car in their household. So it's crucial then that they have a real degree of practicality, but they also want standout design and the latest technology. And the E-Pace delivers on both counts. So we've intentionally made sure that the standard E-Pace is impressively equipped with connected technologies. And in addition to a spacious and practical interior design, the E-Pace is still every bit a Jaguar, with a deliberately distinctive and bold design. And like all Jaguars, it has a design that makes you want to look back. And I can tell you that's exactly what happened. We conducted significant research all across the globe, and these are effectively their 4-hour marathon sessions with prospective customers. And it wasn't uncommon for customers at the end of that to want to go back in just to have one more look at the E-Pace. The end result, we believe, and we're anticipating that 80% of the buyers of the E-Pace will be new to the Jaguar brand. And when those new customers come to search and configure their E-Pace, they'll find that it has a broad but an intentionally easy to understand customer offer. 2 core models, a standard or an aerodynamic, 5 engines, so that's 3 diesel, 2 petrol, and 3 specification option packs. Ally that together with a wide range of options which have an intentional focus on design, practicality, and technology. So with that in mind, the E-Pace will offer 21-inch alloys as an option. That's a segment first. We'll also have the activity key as an option, another segment first, coming of course from the F-Pace. We'll also have an option of a 12-inch TFT driver display, 4G Wi-Fi hotspot, USB ports for every passenger, latest generation head-up display, and full LED lights front and rear. We've also made sure that the E-Pace doesn't just have an impressive level of fit and finish, but also equipment. So with that in mind, every E-Pace comes with Touch Pro as standard. That's our 10-inch capacitive touchscreen. Every car will have all LED lights. Every car has parking sensors front and rear view camera, and a stereo forward-facing camera, which in turn is the enabler for semi-autonomous driver assistance options. And the E-Pace isn't just competitively specified, it's also competitively priced. And here in the UK, as an example, the entry price will start from £28,500. And following our reveal today, the car will be on offer, the order banks will open, and the first cars will be delivered to customers within 6 months. Coincident with the core customer offer, sales will also start with something called the First Edition. Now this has been a carefully specified edition to really celebrate the arrival of this new Jaguar Cub and to showcase its design, performance and technology. The first editions will be limited by time rather than volume, so they're available just for the first model year. And you can choose either between a diesel 180 or a petrol 250 PS powertrain. So, the Jaguar E-Pace. The latest addition to the Jaguar Pride are compact performance SUV, combining true Jaguar dynamics with everyday practicality and standout sports car design. And to tell you more about that design, I'm now delighted to hand over to our Director of Design Jaguar, Ian Callum. And just before I do that, let's have a look at the all-new Jaguar E-Pace. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Thank you. Thank you. It's quite nice, really, isn't it? You know, Jaguar DNA is all about long, sleek, and low. So how do we capture that very element of Jaguar in something that's actually quite tall? Well, it's really about the profile. What we start off doing is looking at the roof line and the bonnet line, particularly the roof line, and try and get as much sweep into the roof line as possible to extend the line off the back of the car, to give it some speed and some dynamism. And that helps to give it that sports car profile. Also, the proportion of the glass to the rest of the car also extends the visual aspect of the car. And as you pass down the car, the wheels, the position of the wheels, the size of the wheels, in this case 21-inch wheels, really helps that whole stance of the car to give it something that's maybe not so much sleek, but fascinating, intriguing, and exciting. And the thing with Jaguars is that they should always be exaggerated in some way to give that excitement. So that's the way that we try and capture that Jaguar excitement in DNA, the overall picture of proportion and silhouette. But let's go through the detail of the car. This car, incidentally, is one of our new colours, our launch colour. It's called Barasco Grey. And when you see this in the daylight, it looks fantastic. It's actually a very, very fine metallic grey. The front of the car, you notice we have the Jaguar grille. It's still familiar. It's one we developed a few years ago with the XF, and it's part of the family. We don't need to, we don't want to change it. It's been reproportioned, of course, to the E-Pace. We've got the bonnet bulge on the bonnet of the car again, Jaguar tradition for many, many years now. But when we get to the headlamps, we don't see the frowning headlamps you've seen in many of our cars. Now see the headlamps that are derived, unashamedly, from the F-Type. And to develop this shape in a car of this proportion in front has been quite difficult. The team has done a great job to get in the right shape, in the right proportion, in the right place. And I think the overall picture, of course, is very exciting. Now they're offset, of course, these large intakes at the front really help to give the car an assertive look and give the whole front of the car that sense of confidence that it deserves. And because the car has a relatively long overhang, and designers don't necessarily like long overhang, we managed to chamfer the corners as much as possible to reduce the visual aspect of the front end of the car. So that's the front face of the car, assertive, confident, and but never aggressive. Jaguars should never be aggressive. So coming along the side of the car, moving up off that F-Type tail lamp into the line of the car, this swage line that runs through and then just disappears into the body side as a pencil leaves the paper. And then overlap here, and the overlap is very important to have that continuation go through from one end to the other, and runs up into the rear haunch to give that muscular feel at the back. Now, of course, you may say that looks familiar, yes? It's like the F-Type again, our sports car, especially this area here where it crosses over, especially the way that line just disappears and reappears above it. So it's very much about the design language of our sports car. But what I really like about this car is simplicity and purity. As you come down the side of the car, very, very pure surface, intersected by a very defined line at the bottom. This actually is one of my favourite parts. It's crisp, it's clear, it takes mass out of the body section, and it's very determined, and it helps just to break up the mass, but in a very clear and precise way. We want this car to look precise. That's exactly the image the car needs to be. So again, emphasizing the overall proportion of the car, helped by the rear roof sweeping off the back. As we come round to the back of the car, this swage line then runs around the back, and this is one of the most enormous parts of the back, and we pull the back in underneath. Not many people do that these days. It's quite a traditional way of getting rid of the mass. It means you have to live with an offset in the bumper, but that's fine, that's what we do. And what that does, it makes the back of the car look lighter and more live than it would be if you tried to pull the whole back end out. So it's about pulling the mass and the weight of the car. If you look at the F-Type, look at our sedans, they all do this in some way or another, and it's really quite unique to Jaguar. The graphic of the car is reminiscent of our lifestyle cars, our SUVs, and of course the Sport Brake in terms of the overall graphic. But the nicest feature are the tail lamps. When you see the tail lamps lit, you'll see this chicane line that runs through the car, and this will be our new graphic for the future for tail lamps. You saw it just shortly on the I-Pace concept. It will go into the I-Pace production car. This will be the first production car with a new chicane graphic. As you come down through the depth of it, we've got integrated tailpipes in the lower half. There's a beautiful strong graphic on the rear of the car. Now the cars you see here are dynamics. We also have a standard version of the car. It's going to be a less aggressive, less assertive front end. So there'll be two particular styles of car, the standard one and the R-dynamic one that you see here. Now to the interior. The interior again has been inspired by our sports cars. We've taken the idea of the driver sitting in the car and the cockpit, and we've used the grab handle to separate the driver from the rest of the car and give the driver very much a driver-focused interior, which really works well. And of course, done the right order of materials and stitching you'd expect the car of this class or even higher. We have an optional 12-inch TFT screen and a 10-inch screen in the centre of the car. And that's complemented by lovely rotary dials. I really believe that we've got to hold on to tactile switches in our cars. We can't go entirely to touch screens. I think cars need that mechanical tactile switch, and these have these lovely rotaries that then lead on into a gear lever, not the rotary gear change, but a physical gear lever for the automatic change, like the F-Type. Again, referencing the sportier car. Now the really great thing with interiors, the designers have worked very hard to create as much stowage and package in the car as possible. You hear more about the details in a few moments, but we've designed the door bins to take as much as you can get into the door bins. The biggest bottles you can, water bottles, and we've got what we call the mega bin in the centre. And it's large enough to take 2 bottles of wine, which of course is very important. And of course the rest of the car has adequate space for 5 adults and their luggage. Again, you'll see details of that in a few moments. So that's our E-Pace. We're very proud of this car, really love it. But just before I go, I want to show another fun video about the car and the design of the car. When we're developing the E-Pace, what we wanted to do was create something that clearly was a Jaguar. That's first and foremost everything we do. But most of all, I wanted a car with real character to it, a bit of attitude. We wanted something sporty in character with the rest of the brand. So rather than do something that was very much in keeping with perhaps other SUVs and other cars, we went right to the other end and we emulated our F-Type sports car. And as soon as you get into it, you suddenly feel you're not in just another practical SUV. You're in something very special, very drivable, but above all, something that's exciting. When we're designing our cars, we always want to put a lot of fun into them. For instance, why we like younger animals, especially wild cats like a Jaguar, is they have big eyes and they have big paws. And we sort of adore them for that reason, because they're disproportionate. In this case, we thought about the name we'd give to the car in turn. We call it our cub. It's the cub of the Jaguar family. And so we created this wonderful little graphic of the mother Jaguar and the cub that sits as a graphic on the windscreen. When you see it, it'll make you smile. The sporting design philosophy comes out of the overall sense of proportion of the car. It has a lot of form in it. It has lines in it which really make a lot of sense in terms of speed and movement. We wanted to give the driver an encapsulated feel like a sports car. So we've taken the graphics of the F-Type, including the grab handle and down the center console, to give the driver that sense of cockpit feel, like a real driver's car. And also on the detailing, we've clearly put a lot of the F-Type front end into the headlamp detail. We're always looking for analogies in our cars to inspire us to do certain things. We use the word chicane line quite a lot because clearly it has motor racing connotations to it. And we've developed a few lines in the car which are inspired by chicanes, that lovely way a line sweeps around. And if you look at the top of the dashboard, you'll see such a line. So it sweeps over the top and follows almost a pure chicane line. And the other one is on the tail lamp. So you see the car running at daytime, you will see this very distinct line across the back of the car. The idea of using rotary dials and tactile switches are very important. And we've got these lovely rotary dials in the car that give you the temperature and other functions of the car itself. We're inspired by things like camera lenses, you know, that lovely detail, that haptic feel that you feel when you move it, and the detailing of the texture itself. And that's all designed into the actual rotary dials themselves. And we love the idea of textures and colours. And natural patterns are always worth emulating because by nature of themselves, they're usually beautiful things. What I like with any Jaguar is a sense of fun about it when we get inside it. Yes, it's a very serious product, but this car in particular, I wanted a sense of fun to exude from it, without diminishing its value in any way. When you get inside a Jaguar, I want people to smile. So ladies and gentlemen, our E-Pace. We really love this car. You know, you talk to our designers around the studio, this is a car that they want. The young designers want this car. I think that's quite telling. We love this car. I hope you learn to love it too. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here today to talk to you about exactly what makes the E-Pace a true performance SUV. I'm joined today by Graham Wilkins. Graham is the Chief Engineer for the E-Pace program, and Graham has lived with this vehicle through every stage of its development. The E-Pace has been 3 years in the making and represents a new approach for our business in terms of global manufacturing. The E-Pace will initially be manufactured in Magna Steyr in Graz, Austria, and then next year we'll also manufacture the vehicle in China for the local China market. So today is your chance to find out everything you want to know about the E-Pace. We've got a briefing for you in 3 parts. Firstly, Graham and I will talk you through the headlines, the top 5 things you just need to know about the E-Pace. Then Graham, in a different format, will try and bring it alive in a virtual reality space and talk you through some of the key features in that way. And if that isn't enough detail, we'll have an opportunity at the very end to fill in some of the gaps with some questions with the rest of the team. So, the engineering brief for this vehicle was really simple: to create a true Jaguar and to do Ian's design proud by ensuring that this car drives every single bit as good as it looks. And I'm really happy and proud to be standing here today having absolutely delivered on that promise. So here are the big headlines, our top 5 things that you need to know about this car. So firstly, we have a very sophisticated body architecture, body structure. taking even further our expertise in aluminium and other materials. Secondly, we've developed this vehicle specifically around a family of lightweight 4-cylinder Ingenium engines. Thirdly, we have ensured that the Jaguar dynamics and all-surface capability comes through and is engineered with the most sophisticated suspension and intelligent supporting technologies. We've created a car that works for our customers in their everyday lives with true SUV space and practicality right at the vehicle's heart. And of course, finally, we've embedded state-of-the-art technology and connectivity deep within the e-case. So let's have a look at these attributes in a little bit more detail. We'll start with the architecture. So, our 15 years of expertise in advanced lightweight body structure really pays off with the e-Pace. A transverse engine layout enables us to optimize the space and minimize the length of the vehicle. So we begin with a steel structure and complement that with a number of advanced materials, including aluminium, including magnesium, including boron, creating an exceptionally strong and stiff body structure. And just to bring that alive with a couple of simple examples, the cross-car beam, which supports the instrument panel in the cockpit of the e-Pace, is made from a lightweight magnesium casting, which gives us that perfect balance of strength and lightweight. The body side panels, the single largest stamped panels on the e-Pace, are made from a high formability steel, which is just 0.7 of a millimetre thick, and that alone takes circa 3.5 kilograms out of the weight of the vehicle. Add to this an aluminium bonnet, aluminium roof, and even an aluminium tailgate, and again we're able to strip another 30 kilograms out of the e-Pace versus using conventional materials, which not only takes weight out, but very importantly for the dynamics of the car, lowers the centre of gravity. It also, of course, enables our lightweight engine strategy.
Thanks, Alan. As you say, one of the main benefits of reducing weight is our ability to engineer the e-Pace around a 4-cylinder, 2-litre Ingenium engine. e-Pace will be the first Jaguar to offer exclusively 4-cylinder engines. Ingenium is lightweight, all aluminium and highly efficient. And in e-Pace, the Ingenium range will offer a broad choice of performance and efficiency, with outputs from 150 PS diesel through to 300 PS petrol. The new 300 PS petrol turbocharged engine delivers 400 newton meters of torque, which in an e-Pace means 0 to 60 miles an hour in a very rapid 5.9 seconds. The engine benefits from all our latest engine technology, including twin-scroll turbocharging with ceramic bearings to reduce friction and high-flow compressors to improve performance. All the Ingenium engines are designed, developed and manufactured in-house by Jaguar Land Rover in the UK. In creating e-Pace's dynamic character, we focused on balancing package and performance. At the front is a revised version of our front subframe, which is semi-solidly mounted. And our McPherson strut front suspension gets a brand new knuckle. It's aluminium hollow cast and designed to increase camber for very precise turning and increased agility. At the rear is the integral link assembly that you will recognise from XE, XF and F-Pace. As you'll appreciate, this is very sophisticated technology, usually found in larger cars and not often found in compact SUVs. The integral link is a Jaguar design that separates lateral and longitudinal loads, which allows us to tune for dynamic responsiveness while still maintaining a cosseting ride. And the integral link design is very compact, which maximises interior space. Both the front and rear suspensions feature extensive use of aluminium to reduce weight and aid stiffness.
And these fundamentals that Graham talks about are central and contribute to delivering a dynamic performance of the e-Pace that is unmistakably a Jaguar. The low centre of gravity and the 2.7 metre wheelbase deliver the quick reactions in the e-Pace that give it a real feeling of pace and agility. We've added stiff suspension bushes and anti-roll bars to reduce the roll angles and again heighten that sense of performance. This has allowed us to tune the e-Pace to have a sports car-like response, fast, pure and precise. We've then developed complementing driving technologies which give the customer the ability to tailor the car's character to their exact driving preferences.
So customers can further enhance the dynamic potential of e-Pace with optional dynamic technologies. Adaptive Dynamics is Jaguar's intelligent, continuously variable damping system. It monitors the road every 2 milliseconds and automatically adjusts the damping force every 10. It responds instantly to any driver input or changes in road surface. For a tailored driving experience, the driver can go into the main touchscreen of the car and customise the settings for the system. We also have an advanced all-wheel drive system in e-Pace, either permanent all-wheel drive or in our high-powered powertrains and active drive line. It's an intelligent technology that gives a rear drive character and also optimum traction in every situation by constantly changing the torque to all 4 of the wheels. If you are cruising, it can actually disconnect the rear axle completely, improving fuel efficiency, but if needed, re-engage seamlessly all-wheel drive in 300 milliseconds. And then if conditions get tricky, the system is able to divert torque to any of the 4 wheels in 100 milliseconds. At Jaguar Land Rover, we have decades of experience of developing all-terrain technologies, so e-Pace is more than capable should you decide to venture from the tarmac. e-Pace features all-surface progress control. This is a semi-autonomous technology that acts like a low-speed cruise control. A driver can take their feet completely off the pedals and just focus on steering the car. The system recognises differences in the road surface and exploits the tyres with the most grip to allow the driver to make progress safely. It will operate up to 30 kilometres an hour, which will allow the car to launch and make safe progress in slippery conditions like ice or wet grass or muddy tracks.
Okay, now let's take a look at the exceptional interior space of the e-Pace. Although less than 4.4 metres long for the vehicle, we've considered every millimetre of the e-Pace's interior to create a space for people and their daily essentials. The transverse engine layout we touched on earlier gave us the opportunity to design a better package, enabling us to optimise the interior for passengers and for luggage.
For travelling in e-Pace, a 95th percentile rear occupant can enjoy 892 millimetres of legroom and 970 millimetres of headroom, whilst the design of the body structure and the integral link rear suspension mentioned earlier combined to create some serious load space, up to 1,234 litres. But it's also very important what you do with the space you have. So to create an intelligent interior, we've focused on the details. So for example, the door bins are sculpted to allow a large drinks bottle to travel upright. And the 8.4 litre cubby box between the seats can be reconfigured 4 different ways to meet your changing needs, whether you're carrying drinks or whether you're carrying technology. And everything is designed around the technology that we carry, from the position of media and USB and charging ports, to neat touches within the interior to stow your phones and devices. And talking about technology, e-Pace is packed with the connectivity that you'd expect and that we believe our customers need. As standard, e-Pace has Jaguar's Touch Pro infotainment system, and this is based around a 10-inch configurable tablet-style touchscreen. It's powered by Ethernet technology for lightning-fast responses. There's a 4G Wi-Fi hotspot, which is capable of supporting up to 8 devices at once, and many ways to connect your favourite apps to the car via Jaguar Land Rover's in-control apps. There's also an option of a 12.3-inch configurable TFT instrument cluster and a full-colour head-up display. e-Pace is also smart enough to respond to single swipe gestures, whether that be to open the tailgate or using the activity key to lock your keys in the car to keep them safe. And it has all the remote connectivity you'd expect, including being able to lock the vehicle from your phone or your smartwatch.
Okay, so hopefully that's given you a sense of our approach to the e-Pace, a car that drives every single bit as good as it looks. It boasts a sophisticated structure, advanced, efficient and lightweight engines, intelligent driving technology supporting great dynamic fundamentals, and all the practicality and connectivity that our busy lives demand. So now it's time to enter the virtual world, and Graham will bring some of these features to life. When you get back, we'll have an opportunity, as I said earlier, to take some questions. So in a moment, you'll be joined by one of our hosts who will guide you to the virtual reality pod to begin your experience. So thank you for listening and enjoy.